Okay, hello. Okay, can you hear me? Alright, can you hear me? Can you hear me better or not? What do you think? Can you hear me better? Okay, can you hear me? Alright, can you hear me? Can you hear me better or not? What do you think? Can you hear me better? What do you think now? Is it loud enough for you? Is it loud enough? What do you think now? Is it loud enough for you? Is it loud enough? Okay, turn off the fan. What do you think now? Okay, how about now? How about now? Is it alright? What about now? Is it okay now? What do you think? Okay, how about now? How about now? Is it alright? Is it better? Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, check 1 2 3, check 1 2 3. Mohana, how is it now? Is it better? Is still there? Still can you still hear the echo, buffering sound? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, do tell me. Now better, yeah? No buffering. Okay, good. I think I know what's the problem. Probably there is another laptop nearby mine just now. So probably that laptop is causing the sound. Okay. Alright. Okay. Let me just get adjusted. I want to try the mic again if it works. I think the laptop, I cannot use many laptops at the same time. Okay, Mohana, how about now? What do you think? Am I clear? Am I okay? Do you think that I can deliver this way? People can hear me? What do you think? Alright, fantastic. Okay, very good. We are going to wait for another about 10 minutes before we start. Let's let the rest comes in first, yeah? Good morning, how's everyone? Hi, hi, hi. Can you just please, whoever you are in the channel right now, just say hi and tell me who you are, where do you come from? I'd love to know more about you. Shazwan, can you hear me? Yeah? Is it clear enough or not? Okay, great. Hi, Alia. Hi, I have my students here as well. How nice. Okay, this is so much fun. All right, we're going to give it another 5 minutes and then we are going to start. Okay, actually I promised 10:30, so we'll start in a while. Okay, just enjoy the scene on the screen at the moment. Hi everyone. Hi Kak Fariza. Okay, Tawa Salvi, hello, hi. Just now I tried using the microphone, but then there's echoing and also buffering. I don't understand why, because I tried yesterday and the day before it was just fine. This is what happened when we really use technology and digital stuff. Yeah, it's very unpredictable. Okay, now I think we have in the channel about 16 people. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Okay, we have about 16 people. This session today, I'm also hoping that I can have more teacher trainees, TESOL undergraduates to be with me, with us. And there are so many experienced teachers in the house, in the channel. So you can also type and give your responses for everything that I'm going to sort of like mention after this. I'm kind of excited actually because yep, this is something I'm trying out for the first time as well. Yeah. Okay, we shall wait. We shall wait. We will wait for about another 5 minutes more. So, how's your day, everybody? Okay, for TESOL undergraduates or teacher trainees who are in this channel at the moment, can you just please say hi and introduce yourself a little so that I know who you are and where you are from? Because I'm expecting some students from IPG and also some students from UITM. Okay, so it will be very helpful. I will know who my audience are and I would like to know who you are. Can you just type and just introduce yourself and where you are from? My mom is also in the house. Okay, this is good. When your mother is here, Mama, pray for me. Everything goes fine. Hi, Mama. Happy Mother's Day to Fuzia Ayub. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. And I haven't seen my mom for 2 months, yeah, ever since the MCO started. This is making things more exciting, I think. So Shazwan, how many of your friends are in here? Can you please at least tell me, or ask them to, just introduce themselves? Hi Adiba. Alright, okay. Another few minutes and we will start. Hi Puan Filza. Okay, SMK Section 4 Bandar Kinrara. Hi, how are you? So good to see you here. Alhamdulillah, yeah, for this opportunity. Without MCO, I don't think I'll be doing this. This is something really new for many of us, but then again, we crossed the bridge. Okay, we have in our channel now about 16 people watching. Alright, I really do not mind the numbers. Anybody can come in and watch. Okay, because this is a free channel, my channel, and I'm just like to do some sharing today. Hi Azhar. Okay, hi Azhar from UITM Puncak Alam, currently in your 4th semester. Fantastic. Alright, great. We are good to go in about 3 minutes. Okay, I'm just giving more time to people to come in. So in about 3 to 4 minutes, then I will start. Okay, I'm gonna start. Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi, good morning again everyone. So I'm going to get the ball rolling. Alright, and I am very pleased to have all of you here with me. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. So I'm going to give you the official hello, welcome to Aishah Muhammad Hamdan's channel. And on my channel for this morning's video, I would like to share on lesson planning, the WHYS and the HOWS. And I would also like to talk about the art of lesson planning. Okay, I would like to address my audience first. I'm very excited to know my mom is here. Happy Mother's Day again. All right. Many of my friends and colleagues are also online. Thank you. And actually, more TESOL undergraduates or teacher trainees are coming in because this lot or this session sharing is meant for the young ones, the teachers wannabe. However, I still believe that this sharing session today is relevant to many teachers out there because it could be as a refresher course for us. Okay, and I'll try to address to all of you, and bearing in mind that I have experienced teachers, expert teachers watching right now, and I also have the young ones, the TESOL undergraduates. So I'm also very happy that there are teachers joining in this sharing session today, because you can also help me out. You can also help by sharing your own expertise and your experience with our young ones. All right. Having said that, I'm going to start. Okay, let's take a look at the direction of today's session so that you know where I'm going. Okay, so again, the topic today is lesson planning, the whys and the hows. Please please bear in mind, I'm not really going to go into writing lesson plan rigidly. I'm not going to teach you how to write a lesson plan, because all these in-service teachers, they are very experienced and they know what lesson plan writing is about. And even the young ones, the TESOL undergrads, okay, the teacher trainees, teacher wannabe, you have been exposed, you have been taught how to write lesson plans. So that is not something I'm going to go into in depth today. What this whole sharing session is going to, the direction of this sharing session today is, I'm going to go into what is lesson planning. All right, because sometimes, though we have been doing many lesson plans all our lives, but what is it actually? Why do we have to do lesson plans? All right, after being in this service for 15 years, I find that my lesson planning becomes more challenging, especially with this Industrial Revolution 4.0 going to be 5.0. There are so many things that I am also discovering now, even as an experienced teacher. Okay, so my session will be divided into like 3 simple categories so everybody can follow. The first one is, what is lesson planning? All right. Number 2, why lesson planning? Number 3 will be the more, I would say, lengthy one, where we are going to talk about how do we prepare lessons. And when we talk about lesson planning and preparing lessons, we cannot run away from, talking about CFR aligned lesson planning. Why? Simply because, ladies and gentlemen, our new KSSM, it is all CFR aligned. And as you know, okay, as we all know, even the TESOL undergraduates, they have been taught, they have been prepared with CFR lessons and curriculum. We have to look at it as well. And when we talk about CFR aligned lesson planning, we are going to also discuss some relevant documents. What's the focus? And by the end of it all, I am just going to demonstrate, I'm just going to show how I go about lesson planning. And for today's video, I choose to work on speaking skill. Okay, because some of my students, they say that they have to give a micro teaching on speaking skill. So let's see how I'm going to go about it. Okay, so are we ready? Let's go. All right. Now, let's start this session with something for you to think or reflect on. Let's ponder. I want you to think of a time you entered a class with a hastily written lesson plan, or maybe no lesson plan at all. Okay, for in-service teachers, we have experienced this. Okay, we are not perfect, we are not angels. There were times when we are guilty of going into classroom probably ill-prepared. So, how did you feel? My first question. For the young ones, the teacher trainees, TESOL undergraduates, you may have not experienced this yet. Just imagine if you were to go into a classroom to run your lessons without a proper plan or no lesson planning at all. How would you feel? Think. You can even type your responses there. It'll be very fun to see how we respond to all these questions. Number 2. Okay, first, how did you feel? Why did you feel that way? For us teachers, why did we feel that way? And how many of us have fallen into this lackadaisical posting of lesson just so it's done? So from a personal experience, I try not to go into a class or going to do my lesson without proper lesson planning. Of course, it happened few times, sometimes, all right, due to so many constraints, okay. But how did I feel when that happened? Definitely, I feel I would have felt very ill prepared. I felt terrible about myself, about the lesson I was running, and after the whole class, I didn't feel good. How many of you felt the same? Okay, and why did we feel this way? Imagine going into a class, okay, having 30 pairs of eyes looking at you, waiting to see and hear what you're going to say, and you'll be asking yourself at that moment, what's next? What am I going to do? How am I going to run this activity? Okay, so when these questions play in your mind when you are actually teaching or running a lesson, that means we are ill prepared or we do not have proper lesson planning. And the whole idea of today's session is actually to look at the art of lesson planning, the essentials of lesson planning, and what we can do, what we must not do when we plan our lessons, okay, so that we can improve ourselves as teachers. Alright, so that's something for us to ponder, and don't worry, I'm not accusing anyone. Alright, we have problems, we have constraints. It's just that we have to minimize these problems, probably, yeah, these constraints. How do we overcome these constraints of being ill prepared, for example, for not being able to do our lesson planning well? Okay, so let's take a look at the next slide. So I'm going to go into the first one, which is what is lesson planning. Alright, let's take a look what is lesson planning. When people ask me what is lesson planning, or when I ask myself what is lesson planning, I answer the question by giving another 4 questions. What am I teaching? Who am I teaching? How will I teach it? How can I do formative assessment? Okay, so this is the core. Okay, these 4 questions, they are the core or the essence of lesson planning. Why do we plan a lesson? What is lesson planning? Because we want to know what are we going to teach to the particular group of pupils. Who are we teaching? Do we know who are we teaching? Oh yes, I'm going into a class, Form 2 class, Form 4 class. Who are the people in this class? Who are the pupils in this class? What kind of background? What kind of proficiency level? Learning preferences, for example. What are they keen on doing? Do we know? Now, for TESOL undergrads, for example, or teacher trainees, of course, when you first step into a classroom for the first time, you are not able to gauge all these infos yet. Yeah, even when you're doing your practicum, it will take you some time to really be familiar with your group of pupils. So don't worry so much. It takes many years of experience to actually learn from your pupils, to know what they are, who they are. However, with so many available technology now and digital platforms, you can really learn very quickly. Okay, how will I teach it? This comes into our presentation. Okay, what are you going to do in class? Okay, you know what you're going to teach. For example, I want to teach speaking. I have the language frames. I want my pupils to be able to work on it, demonstrate by the end of the lesson. How do I go about teaching it? What do I do? So these are the questions that play in our mind when we talk about what is lesson planning. And the last one is also very important, review and feedback. It falls under formative assessment or assessment. especially now with CFR Align and new KSSM, yeah, not just our subject, the English subject, all other subjects will require formative assessment. So then again, question is, how can I do formative assessment? What is the kind of assessment? How can I test my pupils during the lesson, or probably at the end of the lesson, to see whatever I have taught them, whatever I have taught them, it has been grasped by these pupils. Okay, do I make sense? So again, to me, these 4 questions are the one that define what is lesson planning. Okay, all right. Now that we know what is lesson planning, why we do lesson planning, why we have to do lesson planning. Okay, let's take a look. Why is lesson planning so crucial? Okay, why is it so crucial? Definitely, when I look up, when I read in journals and articles, I can find so many reasons why we have to do lesson planning. Some even listed 15, 10, 20. But for you today, especially our young teachers, our new teachers, okay, novice teachers, TESOL undergrads, let's just take a look at 3 main reasons why we have to plan our lesson, or why it is crucial to do a proper, well thought of lesson planning. Okay, number 1, take a look. All right. Of course, it incorporates the 3 pivotal components of teaching. You must know what are the objectives of the lesson, what are the teaching and learning activities, and the assessment methods. Basically, the question in what just now applies here as well. Why do you do it? These 3 are the most, I would say, significant pivotal components. Even when we work on our lesson plans, yeah, when we write our lesson plans, your lecturers or the inspectorates or our GB or our HM will look at your objectives. Okay, and later in this session, I will show you, I will link to our CFR documents. This is the most important part, because I know even in-service teachers may be at loss sometimes. They could even probably confuse themselves, because there are a few documents to look into. And how do you use all this when you are doing your lesson planning? Okay, so number 1. Number 2, in my very, very personal opinion, I believe in a good lesson planning because we want to engage our pupils or students or audience. Engaging lesson is important, or else I don't know how to say it. Sometimes we think that it could be a good lesson, or it could be a well thought of lesson, but our end recipient, our clients, our pupils may not actually get what we want to deliver. Okay, now please differentiate these 2. One is you have a well thought of lesson, okay, and you execute in class. However, when you are executing your lesson and activities, you know, it doesn't work. Probably pupils, maybe it's a bit too difficult, too easy, or things happen. Okay, experienced teachers, you can type there what happens to you sometimes when we carry out our lessons in class. Yeah, we think that it is already well thought of, well planned. However, blunders still happen. Now that's different. That's what I would say, thinking on your feet and also reacting to the problem that occur at the moment. That's a skill, class management skill, lesson management skill. However, what I'm saying is that from beginning, when you plan your lesson, or maybe you plan it haphazardly, the lesson itself is not engaging. All right, so from beginning, your students or your pupils will be sailing away on their own. All right, they are not really engaged to what you are doing or teaching in classroom. So to me, having a good lesson plan or lesson planning makes us more confident. For example, this session, if I did not prepare myself, if I were to just take it easily, okay, simply show slides and talk about it, a little bit ill prepared, then I won't be confident. And showing confidence to our audience is the first tip, is the full rule of thumb when you are doing a delivery. You can be a teacher. You are the persona in the classroom. You are the person. You are the significant person there. So of course you have to feel confident about yourself, and you have to make your audience, your pupils, to have confidence in you. Okay. All right. Number 3. Lesson planning now, doing it well and good, saves time in future. Okay, this is important to me, I think, because we are not teaching only one class or for only 1 year. We are teaching class after class, year in, year out. Sometimes we follow from Form 1 to Form 2 to Form 3, even up to Form 5s. Or maybe, you are following your learners. So if you do good lesson planning from beginning and you follow them through, you will see that it is so much easier in future lessons, because pupils already get what you want to deliver. They have it already. Their prior knowledge, their schemata is somehow there, clamped. All right. And that is why I would say lesson planning, a good one lah, yeah? A good lesson planning now saves time in future. Okay, before I move on, I would like to take a look at the chat box, okay, to see what you are. I would like to see what you are talking. Maybe you are saying something. All right, so far so good. Okay, everyone is following. Okay, am I clear? I hope I'm clear. If I'm not, please tell me. Okay. Okay, so we have talked about what is lesson planning, why is lesson planning. So let's go to the third segment or section. This is the important one actually. How do we prepare lessons? Okay, and the CFR aligned lesson planning. Okay, for TESOL undergrads, I think this is very important because you are not in school yet, you are not teaching yet, so maybe the mention of these documents will sort of like send you a bit, confused probably. Even teachers at times are wondering which one to look at, what to do and all that. So let's take a look. Before I start, I would like to also address a little about CFR aligned curriculum. Okay, so as we know, now onwards from Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, Year 1, okay, and onwards, we are all using curriculum, CFR aligned curriculum, okay, except for Form 5. Form 5 is the last batch that is still doing the old KBSM, so never mind, no problem. So now, there are a few documents that we actually need to really understand because we have to look at them. And if you are a TESOL student, I strongly recommend you read up, okay, and understand. Ask a lot. You can ask your lecturers, you can ask in-service teachers, those who are more experienced than you, what are they and how do we go about them. Because when it comes to lesson planning, we have to look at these documents or at least be very well versed or familiar. Okay, we may have a slow start at the beginning, but as you I would say more experienced, you are more comfortable in your lesson planning, then it will not be so slow, because we do our lesson planning, or we plan our lessons day in and day out, yeah, not to just one class but to a few classes, depends on how many credit hours we have. Okay, let's take a look. This is found in the teacher guide given to us teachers actually, so I just sort of like copy pasted it here so that for us to see. Can you see this diagram? Yeah, this diagram, the one in green is known as the curriculum framework. Alright, curriculum framework, or I put it as CF. The one in blue is known as our DSKP. The one in yellow is actually our SOW, scheme of work, and when we write our actual lesson plan. Okay, all these are important documents. Question, do we look at this all the time when we plan our lessons? Not all the time, okay, but of course as much as you can, because you need to get yourself familiar with all these documents. So the curriculum documents that you need to refer to when planning your lessons and writing your lesson plans include all this. Okay, now what is a CF? Okay, what is a CF, or the curriculum framework? The CF contains the overall content taught during the whole primary or secondary education. I will show you after this. In the CF is where you can find your content standards and learning standards. What are content standards? What are learning standards? That's why I said you must know curriculum. This is the main framework which governs the whole thing. There's no way we can write our lesson plan, alright, if you do not understand how it works, how the SOW works, how the SKP works, how CF works. Okay, so the main framework that governs, that's why it's in green color. You see, it is like the mother. It is the big umbrella, and under this big umbrella of the green color, which is a CF, we have the DSKP. DSKP is our syllabus. First, you must know what is a curriculum. What is the content? What is the content, the overall content that is going to be delivered to our primary and secondary education? Yes or no? Especially when it is CFR aligned. So after the CF comes the DSKP. Now this document standard curriculum dan pentaksiran works as our syllabus. I'm going to show you after this. Yeah, I have sort of like screenshot everything. I'm going to show you after this. Okay, this is just an introduction first to all these documents. So this DSKP is also our guide to do our formative assessment. Alright, DSKP is very important. In fact, when I do my lesson planning, I will definitely refer to these two, SOW and DSKP. The CF is already in the DSKP, but from time to time, sometimes I also open up, flip through again just to read some things. Okay, after the DSKP comes the SOW. SOW actually is governed by DSKP. DSKP is governed by CF. See how it works? Okay, like layer upon layer. So SOW is our important document because thank God to all English teachers, you are very lucky. Okay, you are very lucky in the sense that BPK or our ELQSC, English Language Quality Council, they have worked with Cambridge, of course. Okay, they have worked with Cambridge and they have already lined out all these documents for us. SOW works wonderful, superb for us to do our lesson planning because it is lesson to lesson, lesson 1, 2, 3, and from skill to skill. Okay, how many skills are going to be covered in every module in your textbook? So for today's video, I'm going to focus on Form 4. All right, I'll demonstrate an example after this. Okay, how do we go about it using speaking skill? Okay, so this is a teacher's book. So you have teaching materials. We have to use the textbook, but we improvise. We have to be creative. Some teachers come up and tell me, Aishah, sometimes it's a bit boring. The title could be boring or the text could be boring. Okay, I said fine. Maybe you want to sort of bring in your own materials. Wouldn't be a problem because we can adapt and adopt. However, when you do that, make sure whatever learning standards that you are supposed to cover is covered from that material preparation of yours. Do I make sense? I hope so. Okay. For example, in the particular text, you may not like it much, or maybe it's too far-fetched for your learners. Okay, they are not familiar with that. But in that text, there are some words, vocabulary, or grammar function, or whatnot that match to the learning standards that pupils are supposed to learn. So when you bring in your own materials, you can make sure those things are there as well. So of course, it will take some time. It will take us a lot of time, in fact, to actually, analyze and do whatnot. But it can be done. There are many teachers who are very, I would say, ambitious, hardworking. They like to bring in their own materials. I don't think there's any problem with that. As long as whatever you do, make sure you don't run away from the learning standards. So you have to know. If it says, okay, we're going to look at it after this. Yeah, let's go down some more. So after the scheme of work, this is the final one. This is when you do your actual writing of a lesson plan. Again, this sharing session is not going to teach you how to write a lesson plan because everybody knows that. But this is more the art of lesson planning, what comes about when we do lesson planning. Okay, so these are the 4 main documents that you have to be familiar with. In service teachers, even us, sometimes we may not be very familiar. We may not even look at the SOW. I'm very sorry, but sometimes I find that teachers, they are okay out there, not the ones in the channel. Just looking at the textbook and you run according to how you want to run your lesson, no problem. But do look at the SOW. Do look at all the suggestions and also what are the plans. If you don't like it, then of course you change, you improvise, you are creative people yourself. Okay. However, when we do our CFR aligned lessons, don't forget differentiation strategies come in. HOTS, high order thinking skills, all those. That is why I forgotten to mention when we first started off just now, what is lesson planning? There's so many questions we need to answer, you know, not just what am I teaching, who are my students. So it is also about what are the KBAT or the hot questions or strategies I'm going to use in this particular lesson. Is there any differentiated learning or strategies? Okay. Alright, I'm going to take a look at the chat box again, just in case somebody says something. Okay, oh, everyone is quite silent, and I have 34 watching now. Hello, hi. Welcome to all 34 of you. So good to have you here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this sharing session. Alright, I have covered about what is lesson planning, why lesson planning, and now I am doing how do we go about it, especially tackling the EFR aligned curriculum. Okay, so very good to have all of you here. Hello. Okay, now I just need to look at the chat box for a while. Now I'm going to go back into my presentation. Alright, let's take a look at this. Okay, just now I mentioned the curriculum framework, CF. Remember? The green color, the big mother who governs all other important documents. Okay, so this is an example. I just screenshot some for Form 4 spoken interaction. Let's take a look, my dear audience. So under content standard, we have 2.1. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to read. You can read. What is the focus? Remember, this is curriculum framework, yeah. So this is the overall content of what we teachers are going to teach, either in primary or secondary. And if you look at the what I have there, the descriptors in the CFR framework, which include can-do statements, allow us to understand what kind of communicative competencies pupils have and what they can or should be able to do at different intervals. These are called LS, or learning standards in the CF. So for example, for spoken interaction, under Form 4 learning standard, the pupils must be able or they are able to explain simple content on familiar topics from what they read and hear. This is the 2.1. That's why it's 2.11. We have so many. I'm not going to screenshot and put everything. Okay, you go and read the document. All right. This is just a little insight, especially for our young ones. Yeah. Please download the CF, read for you to understand better. Why? Okay, now let's look in the CF as well. It shows us Form 1. The level that our pupils should be achieving would be a revised A2. For Form 2, the level should be A2 high. Alright. Form 3, B1 low. Form 4, B1 mid. So there's a guide. I am not going to sort of like explain in length, in depth about the CFR, the 6 levels of CFR, because I think everybody knows about it. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Teachers, which level we are supposed to be at? That's a question for us. Alright? Okay, so you see, the LS is meant for B1 learners. So that is why if you wish, as I said earlier, sometimes materials preparation, you want to bring your own, you want to improvise, you want to adopt here and there, have this in mind as well, that it is supposed to cater to this LS learning standards, to cater to this particular level, alright, of the B1 mid. For example, CF. Let's take a look at the next one. Alright, we have the SCF, which is a curriculum framework. Green color, remember green color? Now is the blue color. Just now in that circle thing is the DSKP. Okay, the DSKP is our syllabus. Alright, it's our syllabus because now it is being explained even more in depth of what we should do. So for example, again, this is an example, from our DSKP and the speaking skill. Today I'm just doing speaking only. I'm just showing, demonstrating one skill. Okay, the LS are used to develop the syllabus, which is a year-to-year description of the themes, topics, grammar, vocabulary, and structures used in a year. Okay, so let's take a look at the first column. That's the content standards. Alright, the content standards. for spoken interaction. And the second column, it explains to us what is the focus. So if 2.1 says communicate information, ideas, opinions and feelings intelligibly on familiar topics, so what is the focus? Meaning we have to look at our learners. They must be able to communicate information clearly. Alright, they must be able to find out what about and communicate information clearly. So that goes to it matches the learning standards 2.1.1. For example, explain simple content on familiar topics from what they read and hear. Alright, so the DSKP is again the syllabus of what students must be able to achieve. Okay, so that's the direction of us teachers as well, where we are going. But again, I say, as we are so lucky, we are very lucky to be English teachers. We have our SOW. Our SOW has been written and is a guide for us, because we don't really have to think which one to do first, 2.11 first, 2.12 first, or can I do 2.14 first? We follow the SOW, the planning in SOW, but you can vary. What you have to do is vary your teaching strategies, match with the learning preferences of your pupils. Now, that is lesson planning. That is lesson planning, which is not very easy as well. Okay, I want to go into before that, under our DSKP as well. Okay, under our DSKP as well, we have the performance standards. Yeah, this is continued from just now. These are the descriptors and the performance level. Okay, so when we do our PBD, our formative assessment, so this is where we place our learners. What performance levels are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the bands. And these are the descriptors. Okay, the descriptors. That's why when you do your lesson planning, whatever you're going to teach in that lesson for that particular day, your formative assessment also comes from here. It's actually not very difficult. Everything is here. So when you do it, when you run your lesson, you run your activities, you will see, can your pupils display this ability? Can they show this to you? If they can, which level are they? Band 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for example. Okay, let's take a look at our SOW. Now, this is I would say the main document for many of us. So for TESOL undergrads, those who are going to do practicum, those who are going to do micro teaching, please take a look at our SOW, because actually everything is given here. But of course, I would say pretty general as well. Again, depending on your creativity as a teacher, on your experience and how you would like to go about your lesson. Alright, so this SOW is aligned to the CFR levels and of course reflect the LS learning standards and syllabus. Alright, so for example, now this is the best part. Okay, let's take a look. Lesson 30, which I'm going to do a little bit of demonstration after this. Lesson 30 speaking. Okay, this comes from this book. Alright, buy it. They even give you the page. Can you see? Materials references. Students book, page 37 and 42. Okay, for example, I'm going to do, where am I now? Okay, this one. After this, I have screenshot it. Don't worry. Alright. Okay, so we are going to look at learning standard, especially learning standard is speaking, and we have two skills normally in every lesson under SOW. We have main and complementary. So you have to cover these two skills when you deliver your lesson. Alright, so to be confident of yourself, alright, you have to know whatever you're doing in class, whatever you are teaching there, then it has to cover speaking as the main skill and also reading as the complementary skill. How do I do that? How do I do that? Okay, that's why the learning outline is given. Can you see? The learning outline is given. They even give a suggestion on what you can do for your pre-lesson. This is the part where I like to change, because I have my own ways of doing things. I love showing videos. I love to use a KWL, for example, and other things, parking lots. So sometimes I don't really use what is suggested. Okay, but I must make sure that I am leading the pupils into the lesson, so somehow it is very much related. But if let's say you are running out of time, you have so many constraints in planning lesson, go ahead, just use whatever is being suggested, no problem. Alright, And then the lesson delivery. Okay, let's take a look here. This lesson focuses on activities A and B discussed on the unit. Okay, again, it's pretty general. It just says that you have to do this to develop the main skill. How do you do it? This is where I come in here. This is where we are doing it now. Everything is, of course, not as detailed as nobody's going to give you one lesson plan and okay, follow this. Yeah, it's up to your discretion. But the general ideas are there. They show you pupils must be able to do this a little to cover the main skill, to demonstrate, to show the ability. All right. So what do you do is, of course, again, what you do as a teacher in classroom. All right. Moving on. Okay. So I just like to take a look at this. My student from IPG gave me this. He said that all students of IPG actually use this template, lesson plan template. No problem, of course. In fact, lesson plan templates or format differ from one institution to another. If I think UiTM students showed me something else, and even from one school to another, one panel to another, no problem. Momentai, did I say it right? Okay. However, we can see that actually the gist, okay, whatever we need to cover in a lesson plan is all there, except maybe for teacher trainees, definitely much more detailed. I highlighted the one in blue. Can you see the box in blue? Content standards, learning objectives. These are crucial. These are very important. You must be able to write them correctly. I am not going to, that's going to be in another video, I think, for today's purpose. I'm not going to show you how you write your learning objectives. In fact, for unis, for universities, I think lecturers have taught you. You probably have your own way of writing your learning objectives. So by all means, go ahead with whatever you have been taught. Okay, these three items are very important. Okay, because that sets the direction of your lesson. All right, and the rest of it, basically, of course, whatever that you want to put in. Alright, so this is a template from IPG. Thank you so much, Shazwan, for sharing the template. Okay. Now, let's take a look again at the SOW. We're going to do this. Alright, a little. I'm going to demonstrate because we are now at the section or segment of how do we do lesson planning. So this is our SOW. So how do we do it? Okay, how do we do it? Alright, let's take a look here. Okay, before that, I just want to check the chat box to see if there are any questions or if there are any comments. Okay, oh no comments yet. Okay, no comments and no Assalamualaikum, Waalaikumsalam. Alright, never mind. You can also post your, your questions, because I have an assistant actually getting them down so that I can address to it by the end of this sharing session. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is from our, again, Full Blast Form 4 textbook. I'm doing speaking because my student requested on speaking skill. She said they will be doing micro teaching for speaking lesson. So that's why the whole thing today is mostly about speaking. Okay, let's take a look. If you can't see the instructions under that page, all right, I have typed them out. So for A, for example, speak. Can you see that one? Talk in pairs, compare the two pictures below, discussing the similarities and differences between them. Talk about ideas given using the words or phrases in the box. All right, we go to the instructions first, because in the SOW it says, all right, I'll go back to SOW. I always go back to SOW. Let's go back to the SOW a little. All right, let's go to the SOW. It says activities A and B focus on developing the main skill for this lesson. And remember, main skill, you are teaching speaking. You are going into class. You want to teach speaking. So A and B are the main activities for teaching speaking. Alright. Wait. Let's go back to the page just now. I'm doing a lot of switching panels here. Switching screens here. Okay, so A and B. B, talk in pairs again. Imagine you have decided to buy a t-shirt for a friend. Look at the two advertisements below and discuss blah, 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 blah. So on. You can read yourself. I just want to draw your attention to the learning standards. for this particular lesson, this is lesson 30, speaking, topic bait. Alright, I screenshot and everything, I crop nicely so that I want everybody to understand, especially our TESOL undergrads, especially our teachers going to be, so that they are more equipped with ideas and information. Alright, if you look under LS for this particular lesson from our SOW, speaking 2.13, explain advantages and disadvantages of plans and ambitions. Right? Don't you think that task B is actually asking them to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of each place to shop? You see, that's what I said. Our DSKP, our SOW are all in sync. Our textbook complements all these documents, or these documents complement the textbook. I don't know which is which. Alright, what I'm trying to say, they are all in sync. Okay, so that's why it is easier for us teachers to run our lessons. It's not very difficult. However, the activities you carry out is the essence of what you are doing in classroom. Again, I said, remember the part when I said about what is lesson planning, why lesson planning? Okay, I have an idea. I want to run this lesson in class, but by the end of it all, can my pupils actually speak? Can they discuss about the advantages and the disadvantages of each place to shop, for example? Can they talk in pairs? Can they use the pictures and discuss the similarities and differences? How do you do it? Alright, the SOW is not going to tell you how you need to do it step by step. That is why lesson planning is very crucial. And you have to learn and study whatever we have to do first. Everything is there. Everything is given. But how do we run? How do we deliver the lesson? Looking at this, I wouldn't say it is very easy as well, yeah? For some of our pupils especially. Now, let's take a look. You have the words inconvenient for shoppers, practical. What is convenient? What is inconvenient? How do you bring in these words to your learners? Alright, this is not reading and writing. They're supposed to be using them in their conversation. Alright, lack of variety, street vendor. What is that? What are all those? So they are going to speak in pairs with a partner, contrasting shopping center and open air market. Are we going to throw this task to them? Okay, now discuss. One is shopping center, one open air market. How do we do it? That is why in CFR, when it comes to CFR, curriculum induction, teachers here, we are taught to bring in language frames. They are only given the phrases. You as a teacher are going to bring in the language frames. Probably, it can be in a form of demonstration. How you demonstrate the use of these phrases, one. Or maybe you would like to show a video of how these phrases and words are being used in a conversation. Alright, maybe you can teach language frames, I would say, first maybe. I don't know, depends on your preference. And also your pupils. That is why lesson planning again is so crucial. How are your pupils? I know Mr. Mohana from MGS will have superb girls. He doesn't have to teach them how to use these phrases. He just throw the task to them. Okay, come on, record yourself, two of you talking, show me. Done, probably. But not all of us have that kind of learners. So how are we going to bring about all these phrases which may not even be familiar to some of them? How? And you have to also look at the whole page first and understand yourself. What are you going to do? What is the direction of your teaching or the lesson of that day? Can you cover all this in one lesson, 2 periods, 1 hour? Can you? What kind of learners you have? Again, the question comes back. Who am I teaching? Lesson planning. Who am I teaching? What class? What kind of learners? 30 of them. Not to mention, this is a pair work task, pair work activity. Maybe they are not seeing eye to eye with this partner, and you pair them up. They won't be talking. They just shut down and look at you and give you that look. Constraints in carrying out lesson. I have that. I'm sharing this because this is from a personal experience. I have that, especially my Form 2s. Suddenly I find that they are not talking to one another. They are writing down. I'm like, okay, this is speaking. Yeah, I know we have to also allow for them to plan, of course. We are teaching English as second language. To some of my pupils, this could be a third language or an alien language. Yeah. So I cannot expect them to be able to just throw it out or discuss happily or be very excited about it. Engagement. I know my pupils, so what should I do about it? Who should I pair? And I do have this thought processes going on when I design my lesson, when I'm planning my lesson. I will look at the list of names of that class, especially my form 2s. Yeah, form 1, form 2, form 3s. They're rather very young. They are still very immature. They don't like this person, they don't like that person. So to those who are doing students of IPG, you are going to primary, so you really have to bear this in mind. All right, you're going to have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6. How's their maturity level? Ask them to work in pair with a partner. Do they like one another? So you have to study them first. It takes a little bit of time, but don't worry, by the end of the day you'll get it. All right. Okay, so from this you can see that the learning standards match to the task in the textbook. All right. Okay, let's say my students come from this rural area, kampung school. How I cannot like shopping center. They've never been to a shopping center. What should I do? If I were you, I'll bring in something that they're more familiar with. Maybe open air market they are familiar. Night market, pasar tani, we call that. All right. What do you call pasar tani in English anyway? Type it out for me, please. Okay. All right. So maybe you like them to compare this, or maybe just a grocery shop that they're familiar with in their kampung. That is when you bring your own materials. Some teachers may even bring these pupils to the actual shop or the book, what do you call that? The bookshop in your school. Yes, yeah. Because bookshops also sells lots of things. So depends again, but make sure how are you going to introduce all those vocabulary to your learners. How are you going to make sure that they are able to, because look at the learning standard. Learning standard is the most important part. They are able to explain advantages and disadvantages of plans and ambitions. So can they talk about discussing advantages and disadvantages of maybe shopping in a grocery shop and the bookshop in their school? Why not? It is inconvenient to buy things at the bookshop in the school. They don't have, because there's not many things sold. Example. Okay, so how to bring in your ideas, executing the lesson, the activities, actually that's the biggest challenge. Another tip from me, when I plan my lesson, I didn't write the objectives first normally. I designed my activities, the tasks, and I know many teachers do this as well. Only after we have all the activities and the tasks lined up, then we know the direction of our objectives, and that's where we also sort of like do some check and balance. Okay, I am going to take a look at the chat box again, and thank you so much. We have 35 people watching. All right, chat box again. All right, I think everyone is listening very well. Do you have any questions so far? Please type it out. All right, do you have anything you would like to ask me? I think everyone is listening very well. Okay, so anything you would like to ask me, can you just please type it out? Especially pupils, students from IPG, UITM, whoever you are, maybe you will have questions. So can you just please type it out? Anybody would like to ask anything? Right, I'm still waiting if there are people. And in service teachers as well. Okay, in service teachers, you can share your experience. Feel free to just write about your own experience running your own classes, lessons. How do you do your lesson planning? What are the constraints? What are the problems or setbacks that you might have? Okay. Um, so looking back at what I have presented just now, okay, so basically I really would like to highlight the importance of understanding what is lesson planning, okay, the art of lesson planning. What I'm showing you again is something very crucial. Okay, so again, what am I teaching, who am I teaching, how will I teach it? Okay, I've demonstrated just now under the speaking skill. Okay, and how can I do formative assessment? Okay, let me address this formative assessment. Okay, there is a question from Santi Krishnan. Hold on, yeah, let's take a look. Hi Aishah, I just joined. I would like to know, for the very weak students, how do you make them speak despite speech frames? A very good question. Okay, how do you make them speak despite speech frames? Very weak learners. Number one, do not put our expectations so high. Okay, sometimes I feel when we have too high of expectation, or hoping so much out of them, for them, for example, to be able to speak about all this, may not work. They are very weak learners, as you said, yeah, cikgu. They are very weak learners. So what would I do? I normally would make things easier for my pupils, the way I'm doing it for you now. For example, who would want to read CF, the SKP, and understand them, really understand them? So even for my pupils, I try to sort of like make it easy, okay? And you can also try flipped classroom. Give them videos or give them the speech frames not one day before, yeah, because these are very weak learners. Let's go to maybe 1 week before, maybe 1 week before, so that they can actually read or go through. Even now we are doing e-lessons, right, teachers? We are doing online classes. We are not sure how many of our pupils would actually respond to us, how many actually do what they are supposed to do. Okay, so I think number one is to not have that very high expectations. However, please execute flipped classroom. It does work. All right. And number three, keep on repeating. I think one of the principles in CFR would be repetition. One of the principles in CFR is repetition. In fact, you can see in all our modules in the textbook, there are so many things that are repeated. Okay, so repetitive actions will lead to, I would say, our learners to be able to pick up things better, and give them the benefit of the doubt. Give them the benefit of the doubt. They may surprise you. Okay, and your language frames, make it easy. Remember, CFR is all about what I can do. Even if what we are doing now is at mid B1, but our learners are not there yet. Okay, so you have to help in, you have to intervene by giving them something that they can do first before introducing them to whatever that is in our syllabus, the SKP or textbook. That would be my tip. Okay. I would like to talk about formative assessment a little. Okay, because when it comes to lesson planning nowadays, formative assessment is also very crucial, very important. Formative assessment, as you know, we want to see our learners or our pupils where they are going. In-service teachers are very well aware about this because they have been attended FA courses. But for the young ones, TESOL undergrads, for example, you may have not had the chance to actually carry out formative assessment yet. Now, under 21st century learning, teaching and learning, there are so many I would say, strategies, okay, to carry out formative assessments. So again, it depends on your teaching styles or your teaching preferences. All right, depends on your teaching styles and also your teaching preferences. How would you like to carry your formative assessment? You can read more about it, but we have to do it because we have to assess our learners. Okay, for example, the speaking activity just now. You tell yourself, what do you want to assess from the speaking task they have worked on? All right, and then you match it with the SKP, right? Look at under the performance guide how the students perform, and that is where you also design your formative assessment. Alright, I'm looking at the chat box. Yeah. Okay, yes. Thank you, Cikgu Santi Krishnan. Yeah. Alright, limit expectations, practice drills. Exactly. Okay. And even if we were to practice drills, vary the drills. That's why I say that nowadays creativity is very important for teachers. Why? Because our pupils are these 21st century learners. There's so many things on digital platform that are much more engaging, and also things that catch their interest and attention. So what can we do in classroom so that we're able to also gauge their attention? Vary them. It takes, again, lesson planning is about how will I teach it. How will I teach it? How will I go about it? You have tried this. It may work, it may not work. I like this a lot. Yeah, not all the time whatever our strategies we use work. Sometimes they don't work, sometimes they work. So try again, try some other things. And being a 21st century teacher, it also means that we have to collaborate. This is a form of collaboration, sharing, talking to one another, sharing materials. All right. And I think YouTube has become so sensational nowadays. I love doing things on YouTube, especially during this MCO. And how do we get our pupils to come and do the things that we want them to do? All right. Actually, I have covered what I need to share in this session. It is supposed to be only an 1 hour sharing session. All right, this is a start even for me, because this is the first time I live stream. I did not really advertise, not worldwide. I did not really advertise a lot, I would say. All right, I just advertise this in a few groups. I want to see how can I do it using YouTube Live. And maybe in the future I will do more live sessions and advertising it to more platforms, hopefully to get more teachers, more undergrads, more teacher trainees. And also I will run lessons for pupils, for our learners, using YouTube Live. Can I see if you agree on this? Hi Shafiza. Okay. Can you please type for me? How many of you would like me to do a lesson live like this for your learners, for our pupils? Please say yes or no. Okay, I would like to see from which form. What form do you think I should be doing it? Alright, yes. For form what, Shafiza? Oh, I love this so much. I would like to have live lesson. Yes, please. Okay, alright. Okay, so today's sharing is for teachers and teachers to be. Yeah, form 4. Sure. Okay, yes. Upper form. Alright, I will do it. I will plan. I will come up with a live lesson via YouTube. I really need to work on my technical glitches and issues as well. Alright, and if you think that my sharing, my teaching is helpful and beneficial to you and to your pupils, hopefully, please hit the like button. Please comment below. Alright, and also subscribe to this channel so that you will not miss any other videos, and turn on the notification bell. Oh my god, I've been memorizing these lines ever since I've been watching so many YouTubers these days. Alright, so again, subscribe to my videos, to my channel, hit the like button, smash the notification bell, and please do leave comments below. And any questions, maybe you were busy listening to me just now, you may not be able to actually type out your question, so I would like you to ask, and at least I can work on the questions. I can plan for future. For students, IPG, UITM, whoever you are in this watching this at the moment, I thank you so much. Honestly, I do not know how much I have helped you. If I have, I need your comments. Tell me, teacher, yes, you said something, but you didn't say this, you didn't address this. And if you need to speak to me, you need to DM me, please do so. Please go to my Telegram. Alright, you can PM me, you can join my Telegram channel. In my Telegram channel where all my videos as well as the complementary materials. Alright, hoping that many people will benefit from this teaching channel, from me myself. I always believe that I have something to share with the world out there, honestly. I always feel that I have a lot of things to do to help. Let me reach out to you, to your pupils as well. Alright? And anything you need, anything you want to ask more, or you would like to give me constructive comments and feedback, please do so. We are teachers. We are learning from one another. Alright? I'm not doing this alone. This is not a game plan by myself. You and I, we are in this together for the benefit of English language teaching and learning in our country. And what more, my dear audience? English is not just a second language in our country nowadays. We know how many of our pupils are deprived of the ability. They are not able to use the language well, especially in speaking. That's why I focus on speaking today. Reading and writing, so many teachers can do so. But listening and speaking, even our pupils, they can understand us, they can read, they can write. But when we ask them to speak, we ask them to respond, then they'll be like, click, 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 click. Alright? However, I never lose faith. I have not lost faith. Okay? Thank God for that. It shows me that I need to do more, lot more to learn and work on. We are all learning. And to IPG, TESOL to students in this channel watching right now, to TESOL students watching right now, if I am still learning, other teachers are also still learning, what about you? What about you? You have not even started teaching. There are so many things you will embark on. It's a beautiful journey, trust me. Once you get hooked, you get engaged with your students, your learners are engaged with you, they have you, that's it. You have a blissful life of teaching. Alright? So again, I thank each and every one of you for being here with me. Okay? Thank you so much for listening to my live session. This link will be available after this. So if you think this video, this sharing is beneficial, helps you in ways that maybe I don't even know, please share the link to this video to your friends, to your colleagues. If you only came in halfway, maybe you would like to listen from beginning again. Alright? And if you have more queries, questions, please don't be shy. Write it down under the comment below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also go to my Telegram. I don't know, there's so many things that we can do these days. I'm going live again. Definitely, I've got so many things to do. I want to go live with students. Then you can see how I carry out lessons with pupils. Never done that before via YouTube. I would like to try. Okay, so I have a question. Alright, I have a question here. Abdullah Rezal. Can you share how you integrate two different skills in one lesson? Sometimes I get confused. Where do I put the first skill in the lesson and where should I put the second skill? How you integrate two different skills in one lesson? Okay, very quickly Cikgu, because I'm really coming to my end, but I will personally text you, I think. Can you please comment below so that I can type more and share with you more? Integrate two different skills in one lesson. Do not forget, okay, actually teachers, the SOW is suggesting one is a main skill, main thing. Another one is a complementary. So as we are doing or teaching our main skill, alright, the complementary comes along. Somehow it tags along. How do I do it? I would like to demonstrate, I think. Just saying it may not make sense much. I would like to show. Alright, maybe I can share with you some of my teaching videos. Or maybe once MCO is over, probably, or I have some videos, I can think about it and I'll try and share. Do go to my Telegram channel, subscribe to my Telegram channel, then I can post other videos and other PDF documents. For students, I'm going to post one sample of lesson plan. A good one, I hope, a really good one that plans in everything so that you have an idea. And hopefully it helps you in your micro teaching and also in your practicum. Okay, alright, that's all from me. 1 hour is over. So happy to see you. Subscribe to my channel again. Goodbye, stay at home. Assalamualaikum, happy Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak, and stay at home, stay safe. I love all of you. Bye.